Okay, so I'm set up in a little bit different location here. I'm going to tie in the throat, and this is the most important part of your net. Now we're tying from the tail towards the mouth, so I've actually got this net hung up, and I'm spacing my hooks every 7 meshes. Now remember, a mesh is the whole. This is a half mesh, which is a bar mesh between this knot and this knot here. Along this, between the knots, that's a bar, and this is the whole mesh. So I've got my hooks spaced at every 7 meshes. Okay, so I've got my tail hook, I've got a middle hook, and now this is my third hook up. So this is, we go 7, 14, and 21 meshes. You see I've got this clip here, so that lets me know where I'm at. This tells me I've got a hook right here, and this is just a trot line clip. You can use a paper clip if you want. You can use whatever you want to kind of help you keep track of it. You really don't even need them. The only reason I've got them in here is for the video to demonstrate and so that I don't get lost. So to tie the throat in, I integrate my throat into the webbing whenever I tie it. If you tie a sheet of webbing, you can hand hang a throat. In my opinion, they work better that way. And if you're going to do that, then you would just start it like we started the tail of the net, like we were starting like the whole body of the net. You figure out how many meshes you have, you hang it that way, and then you just go straight into downsizing your net. If you're hanging it like this and you want to integrate it, which in my opinion is a better thing to do, you'll start where your hook is going to hang. So we're going to tie this webbing to the hook right here. So I'm going to start right here hanging my throat. Now to do this, we'll take our shuttle, and I'll come back here, and now we're actually going to, this will be the outside of the net here. So we're going to tie back in to these meshes right here where my finger is. So I'm just going to come up through here like we were tying on. Let me come back through here. Actually, the way I always do this, alright, and I don't know how it's going to look on the video, I'll take and I'll flip it, okay? And then I'll split that mesh to where you've got the inside and the outside mesh. And I'll tie back in. So what we've got here, we've got the body of the webbing, and we invert it where our hook is going to be. See that? So we've got alright, so we're tied in there, and then our next mesh we're going to pick up on the next mesh here. So just like we were tying webbing, and this is where it can get a little confusing. Your next, just like you were tying webbing in, okay? Your next mesh over is right here. So that's the one we want. We're gonna catch it right here, flip it. I'm gonna switch my fingers so I can hold it. You see I'm keeping track of that knot. Okay. Now we've got our loop, we need our mesh board. And we tighten it down. And we try to keep everything out of the way. You can, to avoid some overrun, you can tie through and then tie the, instead of tying the body of the webbing out, you can get to where your hook is going to be and then start downsizing your webbing, and you just start taking your meshes out. You can run the whole body, then come back and tie back in. However you choose to do it is up to you. Honestly, I would prefer, and I forgot that I prefer to do this, because it's been a minute since I've tied to webbing, I prefer to tie the throat out than come back and tie in for the body. So we're just going to keep track, and this can be kind of a difficult, once you get it started, it can be a little difficult to keep everything organized. But remember, you just want to tie into these two meshes, okay? And what we're going to do, and you'll see here in a minute what's going to happen. And I'm actually I'm playing with some new editing software, so this is going to take me a minute to do. I'm going to time lapse this, so we'll kind of hurry along through it. I'm going to tie a few more meshes just so you can kind of see. We've got all the loose meshes here. We want to go under our tight meshes where we're tying our body. Alright, so here I'm back to about this point here. We're getting back in. I've got one more mesh to tie, and then I'm going to be into my throat meshes, which are right down here. Now, I said in a previous video that I jump a half a mesh at the start of the webbing so that I can make one continuous run with my string. The reason I do that is it makes it a lot easier to tie. If you don't jump a half a mesh, you have to cut off and retie all of your meshes every time that you get ready to, you make a run, you have to cut off and retie. So that's the reason I jump a half a mesh, and remember we're coming back up. I'm going to tie this one here. It's been about 4 years now since I've actually tied a throat back into some webbing, and for one, I'm a little rusty at tying back in, and I forgot. I'll tie when I get ready to tie my throat. Instead of coming back in and tie my throat, I like to tie the body. When I get to where my hook is going to be, I'll start tying my throat, and then I'll come back and hook back in and tie the rest of the body out. So that's the way we're going to do the next throat. We've already got this one started, and I've already gotten kind of past where I need to go back and restart that. From here, it'll be a little easier. You can see I've kind of got some tag ends here where I've tied back in. This is where I tied back in to tie the throat in. And we're going to tie back in. We're just going to come back. You see I've tied. This is where I'm working. And this is where we started up here. Get this kind of out of the way. Let me get the shuttle board out of the way and you can see. Okay. You can see we've got another row of meshes going on the inside here. This is where our throat's going to go. And you see how it's jumped a half a mesh. We ended here. We started here, but we ended here. So we made this whole loop around and we made a corkscrew is what we've done. So now, instead of tying back into this knot, we're having to, if we hadn't jumped a mesh, we would have ended right here. We have to cut off and then tie back in here. By jumping the half a mesh, we end here so we can just go straight into our next row. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to hang my shuttle, or hang my board, if I can figure out where I'm at. Hang my board back in here. And then we're just going to hang in. Oh my Lord, this is going to be terrible. Alright, we're going to hang back in here, I think. We're going to go around the shuttleboard. This is terrible. We'll get a little later in the video. Honestly, I'm just going to cut scene, and I'm going to run this out because this is going to be terrible, and I'm going to fiddle with it. I've made a mistake here, but I can fix it. There's nothing that you can do tying these that you can't fix. It's just a matter of getting a little creative. When we tie the next throat, I'll show you how to come in. You'll count your meshes, and then you'll neck down. I'm going to run this out a couple of meshes. Actually, what I'm going to do, you want a whole mesh, which is 2 rows to make one whole mesh, one whole diamond. You want 2 rows of mesh, or 2 rows of mesh, or 2 rows, one whole mesh before you start taking meshes up. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the point where we're going to start taking meshes up, and then I'll be right back with that.